The following podcast may contain adult language and an abundance of fatalities. So get ready, nerds, because we're talking the Mortal Kombat movie on HBOMax. Welcome and thank you for joining us on the Salty Nerd Podcast. Today we're talking about the new Mortal Kombat movie, and I'm joined by my fantastic panel of nerds. Matt Vader is back with his epic beard.
Yeah, man.
Look at how good that looks.
The debut was supposed to be next week. So you threw me off guard.
I know you popped in and
popped in and making me work.
Very, yeah.
Hey, did you watch this movie yet? Oh, yeah, about last night.
All right, sit down. We're going to talk about it.
We're good. Jude's like, I don't want to talk about it. Sit down.
She's in the background. You can see her.
It's like, I just came over here for booze.
I'm also joined by Tom. Welcome, man.
Hey, man, what's up? Thanks for having me back. Any more?
No, you're good.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry. My brain froze for a minute, like Sub-Zero. And Matthew Kadish.
Yeah, you're just not used to having Tom over.
Yeah, no, I'm like, that's not a woman.
How do you know?
Did you just assume his gender?
I did. I sure did. Goddamn right.
In today's day and age, you can't.
The beard gave it away.
You can't tell anymore.
Are we all bearded?
Yeah.
This is a
damn
hairy sausage fest.
Hairy sausage
Yes.
fest. It's so gross. All right, guys, before we get into this movie.
You should segue that to a manscaping ad.
I wish we had a manscaping ad.
Right.
Shout out to Manscaping. I do actually have their Lawnmower 3000 or whatever it's called.
I'm looking at Tom's whiskers over here.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's all trimmed.
He's
and
all-
lined
yeah,
up,
yeah.
like all metroed out, and I'm just all.
He just called you Metro.
Well, I'm the only one here that's single, so I have to care.
I told my wife, I go, it's going for 6 months, and I'm not trimming it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
she's
You're going to
all-
be right around the time we go to the Star Trek convention. It's going to be just freaking huge. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We'll dive into this movie. Welcome back. Hey, if you want to support the podcast, go to saltynerdclub.com, become a Patreon. There you can get access to our awesome, cool blooper reel where we talk about all kinds of crazy stuff that we can't talk about in the show. Gets cut, put in there for your enjoyment. It's a ton of fun. We have a lot of stuff that we can't say publicly in there. So go to saltynerdclub.com. Most of your stuff.
Can you say vagina?
Yes, you can.
No, you can't. Not like that, you can't.
Jude can.
Vagina.
But we can say Hairy Sausage Fest.
Hairy sausage.
And that's what today's podcast is all about. All right.
Hippie chicken.
Hippie chicken. Oh, shit. Jude usually does a synopsis. Who wants to do the synopsis? Kadish?
Oh, that's not that hard, is it?
It's not.
It's
No.
Mortal Kombat.
It's Mortal Kombat, guys.
Yeah.
Kind of know what it's all
There's
about.
really no plot to this
Yeah.
thing.
No, there is no plot. So.
Kadish, do you want to run us through a quick synopsis? A quick.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right, cool. Go for it.
All right. So, Mortal Kombat 2021, rated R. Budget? Who knows? What do you think it brought in at the box?
What's still playing? How do we know?
Yeah, I'm going to say it did pretty well, though. It's gotten.
$400 million.
No. I'm saying opening weekend, I think I got more than $10 million opening weekend. I think.
Did it beat King Kong?
It came close.
King Kong was resoundingly liked, though.
Yeah. Is this not?
No.
Oh.
What?
I think you're wrong, sir.
What's
I
the
like
Rotten
this.
Tomato on this?
Oh, who gives a shit?
How
about
many
Rotten
tomatoes did this get?
Rotten Tomatoes is a corrupt.
If you're getting your information from that website,
Yeah.
you can never be on this podcast.
I get information from many sources, and I just put them on my whiteboard, and I start connecting strings to stuff.
That's right.
Well, follow the money, Tom. Follow the money.
Yeah, we'll get to the bottom of this.
So it grossed about $50 million in its opening
shit.
weekend.
Nice.
It's
Nice.
amazing.
That's pretty good.
A lot of people did see it, though.
What's the plot, Kadish?
All right. So, MMA fighter Cole Young seeks out Earth's greatest champions in order to stand against the enemies of Outworld in a high stakes battle for the universe.
Okay, so let's just dive into it. The first 10 minutes of this movie is freaking incredible.
Yeah.
It hooked me. It was so good. The fight scenes are
It's the best
amazing.
part of the movie. Yeah.
So by far the best part of the movie.
Yeah,
And the motivation of the characters, he's got his family, his
Mhm.
wife and kid, and he's trying to protect them. He uses his wife's gardening tool as a freaking badass freaking throwing. I don't know, what do you call it? It's the Scorpions.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
thing.
that's who I thought they were. Well, that was who.
It was, yeah.
No, he is. Yeah, he's smart.
Yeah, he's
But,
Scorpion.
that was at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they paid it off at the end. I like how he's just kind of like in hell, just waiting for his turn to
Yeah.
come out. It was
Just
badass.
standing
Just
there.
standing there.
I'm going to kill.
I'm going to kill you.
Oh man, I'd love to explain how he ends up in the end of the movie, but I don't think
I
I don't think there's any
It's
explanation.
Deus Ex Machina, but
It's brutal.
it's badass though. This movie was so much fun to watch. The fight scenes were a ton of fun, and like I said, the first 10 minutes of this movie hooked me. Like I watched it, I was like, "Oh, I'm in. Let's go on this ride."
The opening scene was definitely the best part of this movie.
Oh yeah,
and you know, one of the great storylines in Mortal Kombat, the video game, has always been the rivalry between Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
Mhm.
And so when I saw this, I was like, oh, is this movie going to be about that rivalry? You know, like, are we going to get introduced into their clans and the warfare and you know, what they did to one another and stuff like that? And one of my biggest problems with this movie was that they don't bother to explain anything to you. They just kind of assume like, oh, you're familiar with the game, therefore you must know what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's just like, even if you are familiar with the game, they should have done something to at least set the stage, kind of like set things up.
Well, there were some words at the beginning of it on the black
Yeah,
screen.
yeah. There was a title card.
That's all you need.
Yeah, there was a title card, but I feel like the art of writing has been lost to such a degree in Hollywood that like basic stuff like establishing
oh yeah, for sure.
and setup and payoff and stuff like that just goes out the window with a lot of these
I
movies.
thought they actually did a pretty good job.
I think they did.
Because, you know, every bit of dialogue in this movie for the first 30 minutes is them telling us what's kind of going on and why they're happening.
I didn't mind it. Like, I'm not super familiar with the storyline behind Mortal Kombat. I've played the game.
It's a video game where you fight to the death.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I mean,
I know there's people out there who have like established lore. And
There's bad guys in Outworld. There's good guys on Earth. They
Yeah.
fight. Whoever wins gets Earth.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all there is to it.
Shang Tsung steals your soul.
Yeah.
But
And,
like
and,
Cage
they have some cool fatalities and shit.
But
So
like
that's it.
Cadish was talking about like the rivalry between Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
That's what the first 10 minutes of this movie was.
I never really knew about that.
No, yeah.
Nobody else did
Fire
either.
and Ice.
Yeah, Fire. I'm like, okay, they're cool. They're two badass characters that don't like each other. I never really thought any deeper about that. But this movie actually, like when I was watching it, I'm like, oh, that's why they don't like each other. So for that first 10 minutes establishing that rivalry, I thought it did pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, they'd also never established like what the Scorpion character did to, you know, be such a rival to the Sub-Zero character, because like he's supposed to be like one of the greatest assassins in the universe. Did he kill all of Sub-Zero's clan and that's why he's coming seeking for revenge? Why is Sub-Zero Chinese and Scorpion's Japanese? Like there's just a lot of stuff that could have been like better established. And I just feel like, so this movie's a mess. I mean like it's a very poorly made movie. The fight scenes are cool, but everything else is really, really bad. And this was supposed to be the start of a trilogy. And this is kind of meant to be the prequel for the next couple movies to come, which lead up to the big tournament. And I think Shang Tsung, towards the end of the movie, talks about like when he comes to Earth again, he's going to come with armies. And so like they're building up to like beyond the army, they're building up to the invasion of Earthrealm and stuff like that. And that could be like really cool. I know one of the things that Vader was pissed about when we did our initial trailer reaction to this movie was there was no Johnny Cage. And
they tricked us.
They tricked us. They set it up so that, oh, we were always meaning to bring in Johnny Cage, but this is a prequel to when he comes in.
I thought watching this movie that they do this setup right. I thought they were setting up Scorpion, but I thought the Cole Young guy, who's like basically the main character of the show, I thought they were going to turn him into Scorpion at the end when he finds his power.
Right. I thought the exact same thing.
You know what I mean?
You mean instead of his kid's bracelet turning into a suit of armor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his superpower is getting his butt kicked?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of weird. So
Are superpowers new to this Mortal Kombat thing?
I don't know.
I feel like that was kind of a shoehorn thing in.
In the game, they shoot fireballs and stuff. So if that's how they get these abilities. They get it from this marking. Okay, fine, whatever. That's fine with me.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
So what did you guys think of that main character, the MMA fighter who kind of came in and they were like,
boring, one note.
Yeah, he
not
doesn't
much
care.
into him.
Yeah.
He's like an audience surrogate. And my biggest problem with the Cole character is that he's a passive main character. He doesn't drive the action forward.
He's just along for the ride, basically.
Pretty much. And he has no agency throughout most of the film. Like, stuff just happens to him and he just kind of goes along with it. And, you know, his whole plan is like, we got to be smart. We got to take on Sub-Zero together. And then the minute Sub-Zero appears, he's like, I'm going after him. And he like goes and fights him on his own. Like the whole thing is stupid. So like the fact that the main character was so passive, I felt hurt this movie. Like, it really should have been someone with like a little bit more at stake in the film. And I did like the fact that we finally got an Asian Raiden, though.
Yeah.
I think that was
and he was really cool. Like, he didn't do a lot, but when he did show up, it was like, oh shit, fucking Raiden's here.
I find it weird to say, but I actually completely agree with Kadish on this.
All right, so
that's like, I did like this movie, but him pointing out why this is a weak character makes complete sense, and it kind of clicks, because we are kind of, he is a surrogate for the audience. They're telling the story through him, and they didn't really need to do that. They could have told us a story through one of the actual characters.
Yeah, like Kano. Kano
oh,
stole the show.
That's a great segue. So Kano, by far the best character in the whole freaking movie. Dude, he was so badass.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
He was funny. He was entertaining. He was a badass fighter, and he was freaking Australian, and it was hilarious. Like, everything, he had every single good line in this movie was Kano.
I liked when he got hit by the fireball. He's like, "Did you just shoot a fireball?"
He's like, "Hey, mate, you gonna taste me that?"
wait, we have powers.
So we gonna get superpowers, right?
Oh yeah.
Probably my favorite scene is where they keep sweeping Kano.
Yeah,
because it's very. I mean, that reminds me of playing Mortal Kombat 1.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's just sweep.
Yeah, they keep knocking him down. He just keeps getting him. He's like, "All right, I'm ready this time."
You can't figure out how to do any moves. You do sweeps and you do uppercuts.
That was I think they pretty much did it on purpose.
Yeah, it might have been.
It's funny.
I kind of like some of the subtle little
Oh, dude, not even the subtle ones. Like when Kano beats the lizard creature, which looks way better than it did in the 90s. He beats it and he goes, Kato wins. Yeah. Fatality. And he says, like, I was like, oh, that's freaking badass, man. Yeah. Every time they did.
I was disappointed that the ninja version of Reptile was not seen in this movie.
Maybe that'll be for the sequel.
Maybe they're saving that for
us. Okay, so the other characters that we have.
Can you imagine getting a superpower and it just being throwing a hat?
Like, well, no, that's the pizza cutter of death, my friend. So.
The fatalities in this movie were really good too. When he cuts that chick in half,
straight from the games.
Oh, dude, awesome!
And what was weird is Jax, the guy who plays Jax, he's Jimmy Olsen from Supergirl, and I was just like the entire time I'm watching this movie, I'm like, where do I know that guy from? I was like, oh. Supergirl.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's probably my least favorite thing is no one's recognizable. I don't know who any of these people are.
You mean as far as the actors go?
Yeah, never in my life have I recognized any of these people.
Just Scorpion. He's the only one recognized.
Okay, yeah. But he's barely in it.
Yeah.
I always thought Jax was the lamest character in the game.
Yeah, Jax did suck.
I'm going to smash things with my fists.
With my big metal arms. What'd you guys think about that whole, like, he starts out with, like, I did like how he lost his arms. To Sub-Zero.
That was pretty cool.
And he like grabs and he freezes his arms off. That was pretty badass.
Like chunks of frozen.
Yeah, everything with Sub-Zero when he comes in and he uses his power, I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, they spent the budget on that. And it was cool. Like the special effects are good. The story is abysmal. I don't know why anything's happening. Like, I felt like I was just confused the whole time, but I watched it with somebody and they also just did not understand.
What's the chick's name?
Sonya Blade.
Sonya Blade, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't understand why she was the one who was like all conspiracy theorist about the Mortal Kombat thing.
Well, she was you. I know about this thing, but I'm not cool enough to be a part of it, so I'm just going to insert myself into it.
That's a good point.
I also like how Cole is like. It's like, it's not spelled right when he was like,
oh my god, yeah. So look, they spelled it wrong.
Spelled it with a K.
I did laugh when they said that though. It was really funny.
But so Outworld is very much invested in this here tournament, and Earthworld has no clue, and no one's really in charge of it. Like Raiden is, but
but he's failing.
Liu Kang was supposed to go find people, and he just didn't.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, good, you guys found me. Right on.
Yeah. Also, Raiden's really shit at protecting his champions.
Oh, very.
It's like he could literally just transport them to his temple and have them train and
Nope.
prepare.
Well,
and
that's
he's just like,
He doesn't even visit them and be like, hey, you know that weird birthmark you got from killing that guy?
Yeah.
You're a magic ninja now, and you have to fight for the realm of Earth. Like, there's never a moment where there's any understanding.
No, it's very secretive.
That's very nonsensical.
Yeah.
Ugh,
It's like he knows that the main character that we're watching, Cole, is part of like this ancient bloodline who is supposed to protect Earth, and they never mentioned it.
Are we rewriting this? Is that what
Yeah.
we're doing?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we always
It's
read.
like,
Yeah.
so
Can we make this movie good?
Raiden should like appear in the hospital when these little kids are born with the mark, and just tell his parents, it's like, when they turn 13, I'm going to come steal your child.
that would be good.
And they're going to come to my monastery in the middle of this desert, and we're going to teach them how to
Or
fight.
you could almost play it as like
Jedis or
an X-Men thing, where like he's basically Xavier,
Yeah.
and like when
Yeah,
these
exactly.
people learn that they have special abilities, he comes to them and says, "You're gifted, and you're going to be part of this team, and I'm going to guide you."
well, even like Liu Kang, when he runs into them in the desert, he's like, I was going out searching for you. It's like, in the desert?
And where have you
where
been?
were you before?
Yeah, where were you?
It's like us here. It's like, I'm going to drive out to Beatty and see if we can see what's going on out there.
But he did look badass walking through that sunset with his freaking sash blown in the wind. It was really cool.
So we reviewed the original 1997 Mortal Kombat on the show before.
It's rough.
How do you think it compares to this version?
I think it's better on
My
all
God, I've been
accounts.
thinking that since I saw it. That's a good question.
I personally think this is better.
Yes.
The writing is probably about the same. Neither of them really make sense, but this one gets redeemed. It has Kano saves the movie for me. He is such a blast to watch. So he makes the movie better as far as like an acting wise. The fight scenes are way better. Of course, the CGI is going to be way better. So I can't really hold it against the other movie.
Is the movie better?
I think it is, just based off of entertainment level. I can watch this movie. I could watch this movie again and have just as much fun.
Had the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why was that missing?
The soundtrack wins.
That song
Soundtrack
was
wins
the
from the
coolest song of the night. It was that. And
It's
Fatboy
still
Slim.
the coolest
Dude,
song.
And Fatboy Slim was the 90s, baby.
Listen, the soundtrack's playing in my head while I'm watching a new movie.
Yeah, but why isn't that movie?
Like, yeah.
Why isn't that in this movie?
It is. It's remixed.
I think that's it. Question.
Why would they do that?
Is that a rights thing, Kadish?
Yeah, do they not have the rights to the full?
Well, they probably do, but they didn't want to use the same.
Because they did use it a little bit when Scorpion appeared.
Yeah, it's the
And
same song, but it's remixed enough that it's not the same song.
You know what's funny is when Scorpion appears at the end of the movie and
nonsensically, by the way.
Yeah, he does his whole get over here. And then the rest of the movie, he's like, I don't speak English. So.
Well, there was a heavy
like he just speaks in Japanese.
There was a heavy Japanese inflection on his "get over here." It was like "get over here" or something.
But
like
why wouldn't he say it in Japanese?
I was like, I don't know,
Because of the game.
Yeah,
I don't know.
How do you say it in Japanese?
I have no idea.
I want to know now.
Oh,
That would have been badass. And then subtitles that just says "get over here." You know,
dude,
Damn it, that would have been better.
that would have been better.
Nothing sounds more badass than angry Japanese.
Oh, dude, they're scary.
Very guttural.
They could be like, "Give me more tea." Oh,
That's very racist. by the
it
way.
is, but it's. I mean, I respect the hell out of it.
We're talking about how awesome it is.
Can we just
Yeah.
have can we have like a podcast in angry Japanese voices?
I'm part Japanese, so it's okay.
Yeah. Oh, good. We're covered.
Yeah, you guys
it's
are
like
covered.
it's like quarter black Garrett. He's
Yeah, it's fine. You guys knock yourselves out. Just don't put your chopsticks in the rice. Because that is very
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Two thumbs up. Yeah.
Okay, USA.
We're canceled now.
Oh, we're so done.
So, a question: do you think this was made for foreign audiences or American audiences?
American audience.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always wonder that anymore because a lot of movies are very much made for Eastern audiences. Like you'll notice.
That might be true. I don't know how big the video game is over there. Is it huge as it is here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So then this is kind of like a worldwide.
I don't see why this wouldn't be big.
Yeah.
In China. Or
Yeah, I guess you're
Japan
right.
or anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so-
suppose you're right because that game is famous everywhere.
Yeah.
As long as it's good in South Korea, because they're really into their video games.
Right.
In South Korea.
Well, Pacific Rim made a ton of money in America, but they made a lot of money in China.
Yeah.
Like $1 trillion in China.
Same with Warcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Which I don't I want to hate it so bad, but I keep watching.
We talked about that.
I've watched it like 4 times. I don't even know why.
My man, give me some love.
It's just something about it. I don't know. It's got Ragnar Lothbrok, and the orc chick is super hot for some reason. I don't know, man.
Very confused about the orc chick.
Very confused.
You remember how hot and bothered I got about her?
Yeah,
oh my god,
man.
dude, I was all about it. So that brings up an interesting question. As far as a video game movie goes, where would you place this? Because video game movies are notoriously bad. So do you guys put this on a higher ranking
than Street Fighter?
Street Fighter.
Yeah, it's better than Street Fighter.
Or even Tomb Raider.
I mean, you know
that shitty Assassin's Creed movie that came out.
That was rough too. Resident Evil sucks.
Yeah, they're like
I like Resident
they're
Evil.
like badly good though.
Okay, I've rewatched them recently. Trust me, their time is gone.
My birthday month is coming up.
Oh no!
So maybe we'll do Resident Evil week. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's a tough watch. Those are they're pretty.
So as far as a video game movie, where do you think this lands?
Okay, you're making a movie based on a video game, which means you're basing it off nothing, right? I mean, unless you did like a Metal Gear Solid, you could make an awesome movie out of Metal Gear Solid. You can't make an awesome movie about just some dudes that look cool that fight to the death. I mean, I've seen Bloodsport. The movie sucks, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
This movie sucks and it's not awesome.
You don't think it's awesome?
No.
Oh man.
No. I was very offended. I wanted so much more. It doesn't make any sense at all.
I was not offended.
What about you, Vader? Do you think this is a good video game movie?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I enjoyed this movie.
Okay.
I sat there last night and I turned it on with no plans of coming here today. This was just a pop in.
This is you enjoying a movie.
And I just watched it just for fun and I enjoyed it. It was good. You know, it was you know me, I like my click your brain off popcorn flicks.
Yeah.
That's what this is. This is forget about your problems, forget you had a long exhausting day. You know, this is your pop a beer and watch
Just
a
watch
movie
people die gruesomely.
chill. Yeah, it was great. I loved it. Is it a good movie? No. It's not a good movie. Is it a fun movie? Yes.
Gosh, dude, when Sub-Zero stops the bullet coming out, I mean,
Sub-Zero was on point in this thing.
it's badass.
Yeah.
You know, his freezing the air and shooting it out as icicle,
It's like
missiles
throwing
and stuff.
snowballs
It
at
was
people.
great. I love it. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in this movie. There's a lot of terrible stuff in this movie. You know, on both the good guys and the bad guys. You know, I think they could have expanded a little bit on the Outworld dudes.
Yeah, they were.
What was Kano's nemesis guy? Cabal. He looks super cool.
Okay.
The dude with the helmet?
Yeah,
with the glowing eyes? Yeah, he was cool.
I want to know more about that dude.
I have a question. Since you bring it up. He's from Outworld, Cabal.
Mm-hmm.
But he blames Kano for being in the iron lung that he lives in.
I don't think he is from Outworld.
Well, that's the point, but they don't ever address that. Other
guess,
than
there's very thin.
Very thin.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't ask questions.
That's a good point. That's actually a very fair point. Yeah. Don't ask questions. Please don't think about it.
Yeah. No, you don't have to.
Kadish, on a video game scale, a video game movie scale, where do you put this movie? Do you think it succeeded in what it is? No.
I feel like it's just a very mediocre video game movie, and just a very bad movie in general. I'm with Vader on this in the sense that it's a lot like Kong versus Godzilla. Mm-hmm. It's dumb but fun. But I didn't have as much fun with this movie as I would have liked. The fight scenes are cool, but the main character is a wet noodle. Like he's just, like he's not someone that I can get invested in because he's not good at anything, and stuff just happens to him to have him survive, and it's dumb. They wasted the Goro fight. Goro was
they totally did.
Yeah, Goro
what a waste.
was just like a glorified,
goon.
Yeah. And
he died like a bitch too.
Yeah. So if I'm gonna write the second movie, he's gonna go find Johnny Cage, right?
Yeah.
And then they're gonna get captured by Shang Tsung, and he's gonna make him fight to the death. And Johnny Cage is just gonna kill this dude.
Oh, and take over
in like the first 15 minutes of the movie,
and then
then we never have to worry about him again.
And then his scar gets onto Johnny Cage.
Yeah, something stupid like that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a fun.
Sub-Zero was very cool, but Kung Lao, like superpower thrown a hat, that just always gets me. Like I feel like that there was more that they could have said.
I love that Kano made fun of him for it. Like, as long as I don't get a frisbee like this guy.
Yeah,
so I want a cool superpower.
Yeah, I'm not even sure
what his
awesome. I got fucking laser eyes.
That's way cooler than fire.
Dude, Kano was so good, dude.
And as a fan of Hiroyuki Sanada, who played Scorpion in this movie. I wanted more of him. Like I really feel like, you know, the people writing this movie, I looked them up on IMDb. They'd never written anything else before this.
Wow.
Why do they keep
So it's very obvious.
You mean to tell me the four of us could just write a movie and get it made like fairly easily these days?
Probably not.
It's not who you know.
Yeah.
I know Matt.
He's from Hollywood.
He got clout.
He's here. He's not in Hollywood.
Hollywood kid.
So did they?
But you know, like just everything about this movie, the acting was very flat. The characters weren't exactly like they are in the video games. It had some funny nods to it, but at the same time, it's just so poorly written that I couldn't enjoy myself. And you know, I was watching it with Jude, and Jude doesn't know anything about the video games, and she was completely lost throughout most of this thing. And I just feel like this could have been handled so much better if it just focused on like Scorpion as the main character, and we get to see his, you know, this world through his rivalry with Sub-Zero. Like, I think that would have been a very cool storyline. But beyond that, it's a bad movie. It's on every level. Even as a video game movie, I wouldn't call it good.
So, assuming that this is going to have a trilogy, because it is fairly successful out there right now. I mean, in a pandemic world, it's actually making money. So I think it's got some momentum behind it. Are you guys down for the whole trilogy? Do you want to see it move forward with Johnny Cage?
I'll see whatever Mortal Kombat movie they put out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all gonna watch it.
Yeah.
It's like this. I want them to finish a trilogy once they start one.
Shit, no shit. Don't set it up and just
don't.
Well, I mean, if it doesn't make money, then the studio's gonna be like, never mind. They're gonna cut their losses.
With movies like this, it's like just make them, because they're gonna make the money up in DVDs or whatever we do now these days anyway.
Streaming, yeah. But you know what's funny about this movie is like they did all those shorts, those YouTube shorts. Where they got like Michael Jai White to play Jax, and
was that related to this, or was that a different thing?
Well,
I mean we could have had a Michael Jai White Jax?
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
And Jerry Ryan as Sonya Blade. And
that's
stuff
right.
Like that.
Oh, that would have been better too.
And so like they had this series of shorts that kind of reinvigorated the interest in a live action Mortal Kombat, and that's what got this movie kind of going off the ground. Because basically Midway, who owned the rights to the Mortal Kombat video games, they went bankrupt, and Warner Brothers ended up buying all their assets, and so they finally owned this stuff outright. And the shorts are actually like really good. They're really adult, and they make a feature version, and this is what they do with it. And it's like they almost regressed from what they were doing with those shorts. So I was very disappointed.
I know we kind of talked about having Johnny Cage come in and take over as the main character that we follow. What do you guys want to see in the next movie? Do you want to see the full-blown Mortal Kombat, or is that the big trilogy finale for you guys?
First off, I thought it was weird that Johnny Cage was the big drop at the end. There's a lot more characters that are way cooler than he is.
Right? Oh, no, yeah.
It's like the Jean-Claude Van Damme guy. Okay, so he's going to kick some people in the nuts and wear sunglasses. I mean, he was like, after Jax, he was like my second least favorite character of the original game.
That's true. The tease for
it's
not there. It's not there. Yeah. If they tease Scorpion, that would be interesting.
That would have been cool.
Well, we got him in this movie.
I know, but if they tease something better than Johnny Cage. I mean, I never even used Johnny Cage.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I was a Liu Kang.
I was a Raiden guy.
Yeah,
Raiden.
I was Raiden.
I like Baraka. Baraka was fun to use, but I mean, Mortal Kombat sucks anyway. I want a Killer Instinct movie. Remember Killer Instinct?
No.
Oh yeah,
that's a good fighting game.
Oh, that's a good fighting game.
I was a Raiden. Or what was the one that had Yoshimitsu in it? That was my favorite one.
Oh, the Tekken?
Tekken.
Yeah.
That's my fighting game.
That's another terrible movie.
Yeah.
Tekken was a great fighting game.
Tekken was a great fighting game. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yoshimitsu.
I played Tekken a lot.
Yeah.
I wasn't really into Mortal Kombat, but I played Tekken.
I like
crazy.
Street Fighter and Tekken.
Tekken was my college game. That was like me and my buddies. We'd all have our own characters. We'd like learn all the moves.
Oh yeah.
We'd get drunk and we'd fight each other.
I had to go to our movie theater to play Tekken.
Oh yeah, they had an arcade.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it was like the only Tekken game within 30 miles, I think. I don't know. It was weird.
I had it on
Tekken. Virtual Fighter was real good.
Yeah.
Virtual Fighter was real fun.
I had it on the first PlayStation.
Yes.
Is where I played Tekken.
I played the hell out of it.
See, you guys are all, I play games on my PlayStation. I played it in cabinets, motherfuckers.
Hey, so did I.
You know? So I put quarters in there. I had to steal money from my parents to go feed my video game.
If it makes you feel different, it was my friend's PS1, not my PS1. I didn't have that thing.
Right on. All right, let's do final thoughts. Vader, do you recommend people go check this out?
Yeah, why not? To take 2 hours out of your life and chill.
It's worth it for me.
For sure.
It's worth it just for Kano.
Yeah,
he makes the movie for me. I'm gonna watch it again just to watch him too.
I mean, this is not a good movie. But it's, like I said, it's fun. Just chill.
Yeah,
relax. Watch
Tom?
some people get beat up.
I say cut 20 minutes out.
Where's
of
your microphone at, buddy?
Oh, it's under me.
Yeah.
I'm like crooked. And, I would say cut 20 minutes out of this movie, streamline it a little bit more, make the fight scenes make more sense, and you've got a good movie. What we have here is an awesome start and a terrible finish to a movie, and nothing is worse than getting your hopes up at the very beginning of something and then just being progressively let down throughout the rest of the movie. No one's relatable. Not one character do I care if they live or die. Maybe Kano. I mean, you're not wrong. Maybe Kano's the one. You know what I mean?
Kano's the glue guy.
But out of the good guys, I mean, I could give a crap if any. I mean, they're not interesting. None of them are built up.
Yeah.
That being said, we're at the end of a pandemic. There's not a lot of new movies out there. It's well made and high budget. So watch the movie. Drink a beer, have a good time. If I'm going to give Samurai Cop 5 stars,
I was going to say,
I'm going to have to give this like 3. So, it ain't the worst, but it's not good. So you go have fun, watch the movie.
Okay. Kadish, how about you, buddy?
All right. So the guys who are responsible for the Fast and Furious movies are responsible for this movie.
Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah,
we're going to get like 12 of them? That's awesome.
Thank God. No one asked for it.
So basically James Wan was like the guy who kind of produced this into existence. And, he was he's one of the executive producers on the Fast and Furious movies. One of the interesting things I thought about this was that it had gotten an NC-17 rating for violence, and so they actually had to cut out a lot of the more graphic.
Ooh, I want to see that.
Give me that cut.
I want the 17 cut.
Yeah, release these.
The
violent cut.
Hashtag baby.
And
it's 7 hours long.
and the guy who plays Sub-Zero was in The Raid: Redemption, which is one of the best martial arts movies ever made.
Yeah, that's good.
And so I would have liked to have seen more of him just being a badass, like that part where he stabs the guy, his blood shoots out, he freezes the blood and then stabs him with it.
It's so good. So good.
Like, give me more of that. You know, like that was really cool. But overall, I'd say that this movie was, it was enjoyable for what it was. 2.5 fatalities out of 5.
Okay. I did have a lot more fun with this movie than I expected, and I know on paper, listening to Kadish talk, it's not a good or well put together movie. But I think the characters are memorable. I like pretty much all of them. Kano's definitely a standout. Jax was okay. Sonya was cool. I liked her. I wouldn't mind seeing more with her. Raiden was badass, even though he didn't really do much. I felt like his presence was kind of really felt. So I'm like down for watching more of these movies. If they move forward with this, and that, I hope they get some better writers. I hope they get some people who know the lore a little bit more and can work with the concept and make it better. But if they just progressively make it better as they go on, I'm down for this trilogy. There's a lot of redeeming qualities to it, and I'm ready for it. So I hope it moves forward. I would highly recommend go check it out. Even if you're not a fan of Mortal Kombat, it's still a fun, like Tom said, well put together. Like the fight scenes are fun to watch and the graphics.
So
are
is
good.
it well put together or is it not?
Well, I mean, as far as the fight,
you've said both.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. What I'm saying is well put together as far as like the graphics and the fight scenes and stuff like that. Like it's good to look at.
It's a good looking movie.
Yeah, it's a good looking movie is what I'm trying to say, but I'm drinking sake, so it's not coming out quite the way I thought.
I think we should lose the dude, the coal guy.
Is he a character in Mortal Kombat?
No, he was made for this movie.
That's another annoying thing.
That's why nobody likes his guy.
That's why he has this dumb superpower.
Yeah, for real.
And they never really explain what his superpower is. Like the entire time, Jude was like, "What is his superpower?"
He has like
He's got ropes.
No, they mentioned it in the beginning. Like he just takes a beating, and then
he has armor.
Yeah, he's the armor guy.
Yeah, but he like absorbs the super? He's like the Wakanda, his armor, you know how it like absorbs kinetic energy and then he can like force it back out. That's exactly what it is. That's what he has. He has the vibration.
Yeah, they do a really poor job of explaining.
Yes, they do.
And there's 70 overall characters, playable characters from Mortal Kombat.
Why would you make one up?
Yeah, for real.
Like there's none in there that we can relate to as just pathetic humans.
Yeah.
So,
I also missed the Shang Tsung from the 97.
I like the other Shang Tsung way better.
I like the actor better.
Yeah.
He was more animated. This guy was very flat.
I don't think either this Shang Tsung stuff got left in the NC-17 cut or he's just poorly written completely.
I think it's poorly written.
Yeah. And we need I need more of him. I like the old guy.
Like we always say,
your soul is mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy, you know, from the first
like
movie.
we always say, a good villain can make a movie.
Well, because he can.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the villain is everything.
There's no Star Wars without Darth Vader.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
So they didn't set up a really great villain in this one. So hopefully moving forward, if they do move forward, the villain gets better.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it. That's our discussion for the new Mortal Kombat movie. Thanks for joining us. Where do we find everybody on the socials? Matt, welcome back, buddy. Where do we find you?
You can find me at MattVader74 on the Twitter and Instagram if I ever bother to use it again, and YouTube as well. Yeah.
Right on. Tom, where do they find you at?
Far less places. Matt is very diverse. Basically just Instagram, and it's Big T 2681. Come give me a poke.
Okay, Matthew Kadish.
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish on Twitter, and KadishBooksTalk.com takes you to my Amazon page.
And I am the Salty Nerd. You can catch me on Twitter at salty_nerd. And as always, stay salty, my friends.